Sailing over the Dogger Bank, oh wasn't it a treat? Wind a-blowing east nor east, we had to give a sheet. You ought to see us running, the wind a-blowing free, on a passage from the Dogger Bank to Grey Grimsby.
Towards the end of the Second World War, with the arrival in Western European waters of the US Liberty ships, there was an increase in demand for local pilots and boatmen to assist the navigation of these vessels. Unfortunately, many of these US officers had little or no experience of the particular hazards to be encountered within the English Channel and Dover Straits. There were also many heavily mined areas, which needed local knowledge to navigate safely. At this time, George Hammond and Company were acting as agents for many of the salvage operations that were taking place in the area. Jim Ryland, the managing director of Hammond, was responsible for setting up a service to provide North Sea pilots to help prevent more wrecks occurring. At its peak in this period, the Hammond Company provided more than 50 local pilots who boarded off Dover and proceeded to any required Northern European port. Hammond was understandably proud of its pilotage service and the expertise of the local boatmen it employed, who were capable of dealing with any kind of vessel in any weather conditions. Following the cessation of hostilities, Hammond's deep-sea pilotage service proved to be a successful peacetime venture. Deep-sea pilots are former ship captains with an extensive knowledge of the English Channel and the North Sea, and an unrivaled experience in handling many different types and sizes of vessel in challenging traffic situations and weather conditions. All deep-sea pilots have at least 5 years command experience to offer to ship owners and operators. They guarantee a safe passage through some of the most congested shipping lanes in the world. The deep-sea pilot will optimize the ship's passage plan to maintain a tight schedule and an accurate ETA to the next port of call. Securing the services of a deep-sea pilot is not compulsory. Ships avail themselves of deep-sea pilots on voluntary basis. Deep-sea pilots get their credentials as North Sea and Channel pilots from Trinity House, the venerable British institution that takes its pilotage authority back to 1514, and a royal charter from Henry VIII. Under that charter, Trinity House was given responsibility for all pilots in British waters. The 1987 Pilotage Act saw Trinity House pass its district pilotage responsibilities to the various local harbour authorities. Ensuring the continuance of one of its oldest duties, Trinity House is now a licensing authority for deep-sea pilots, of whom there are currently only about 50. Trinity House deep-sea pilots are licensed for the areas highlighted in cyan on this map. They must attend an interview each year to renew their pilotage license, to confirm the validity of their ENG1 medical certificates, and to demonstrate their awareness of changes to navigation and reporting requirements in the areas covered by their license. Each pilot is required to have an electronic chart system employing either vector or raster charts, which have been corrected up to date. Also required are various digital publications, including Admiralty Total Tide and Admiralty Digital Radio Signals, a complete list of T's and P's notices and all navigational warnings in force. Monthly returns giving details of the vessels piloted and their passages must be uploaded to the Trinity House website. Although it is not compulsory, IMO Resolution A.1080928 and the European Union Council Directive 79/115 both recommend use of adequately qualified deep-sea pilots for the North Sea, English Channel, and Skagerrak. Vessels using the services of deep-sea pilots include bulk carriers, car carriers, container vessels, cruise ships, and very large tankers with draft in excess of 22 meters. Safety, awareness of surroundings, ability to choose the safest course, collision avoidance skills, familiarity with congested waters and VTS reporting schemes are among the various benefits of employing a deep-sea pilot. During passages between ports, the presence of the deep-sea pilot will relieve the bridge team members from the anxiety and distress that might reasonably be expected due to increased workload in a busy and complex navigational environment, such as the North Sea, the English Channel, and the Skagerrak. The master and his officers will be able to rest or prepare for the next port. Confident that the deep-sea pilot is well rested, he has deep-sea command experience, He is a competent bridge team member and highly experienced in deep-sea navigation and local reporting requirements. The pilot has the local knowledge to plan the safest and most direct routes, therefore saving time, fuel and charter rates. These savings can often cover the cost of the deep-sea pilotage service, particularly when the bunker fuel price is high. Vessels entering the English Channel will frequently board their deep-sea pilots at either Brixham or Cherbourg, but depending on the vessel's schedule and travel time required, the pilot can board at any European port. Deep-sea pilots will normally remain on board throughout the vessel's North European rotation, disembarking at Brixham outbound. The only exception is for those vessels proceeding to the Baltic, where the pilot will disembark at the Skaw. This is because of the Baltic North Sea deep-sea pilotage demarcation line rule, whereby North Sea deep-sea pilots are not permitted to undertake pilotage within the Baltic and Baltic deep-sea pilots are not permitted to work in the North Sea. The English Channel is one of the busiest international waterways in the world, with more than 400 commercial vessels going across the strait on a daily basis. Commercial navigation is restricted by a series of shallow banks that line northeast and southwest in mid-channel. Along these shoals, strong tidal streams, with spring rates to up to 4 knots, are often encountered. The complex tidal currents from the Atlantic and the North Sea, meeting with the narrow topography of the English Channel, can give rise to rough seas with steep, breaking waves. To put further pressure on shipmasters, weather conditions in the strait are subject to rapid change. Poor weather is frequent, especially in autumn and winter. Visibility is often poor, changing quickly to dense fog, even in strong or gale-force winds, which can last for several days. Crews of hard-pressed ships will probably have to deal with adverse weather conditions, heavy commercial traffic, fishing vessels, pleasure craft, cross-channel swimmers, crossing ferries, strong tides and currents, sandbanks and sand waves, wind farms, traffic separation schemes, and many other hazards. Accidents, unfortunately, will continue to happen, but to mitigate them and to greatly increase safety at sea, deep-sea pilots are available to provide expert advice and assistance.